All right, deep divers, ready to dig in. Today we're taking a look at Shiba Inu, SHIB for short.
Definitely.
You've sent us a ton of stuff on this one, articles, some deep research, even writings from the creator, Ryoshi. And that Ryoshi, what a story. Poof, just vanishes from the internet.
Yeah, a real mystery, man.
Seems like you really want to understand this whole SHIB thing from the start, all the way to where it might be going.
For sure, it's a fascinating one.
So, a cryptocurrency that starts as a meme, no marketing budget, just a community.
It is a pretty unique beginning, gotta admit that. Imagine launching a cryptocurrency with basically $0 behind it.
Right, relying totally on people getting excited and spreading the word themselves. Ryoshi even called it, let me see, a decentralized, spontaneous community building experiment.
And it really worked. I mean, look at it now. That early community, they were all in on this idea of a totally decentralized project.
Yeah, it was like, what, David and Goliath?
Yeah.
Tiny little SHIB taking on the giant crypto world.
Correct.
How did Ryoshi even pull that off? Just the right idea at the right time? Or was there more to it?
Well, timing was definitely part of it. This was when Dogecoin was exploding. Everyone was talking about meme coins.
So he rode that wave.
Yeah, he was smart about it. But he also brought some new ideas to the table. You know, calling SHIB the Doge killer, talking about building a whole ecosystem, not just a funny coin.
Okay, so there was a bigger plan from the start. And then there's that crazy move, sending half of all the SHI to Vitalik Buterin, the Ethereum co-founder.
That's right, 50% of the initial supply.
It's like handing over the keys to your kingdom to a king you barely know. What was he thinking?
Bold move, no question. Could have been genius, could have been disaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
See, one way to look at it is it was a brilliant decentralization strategy.
Oh, how so?
Giving Vitalik that much, it meant Ryoshi couldn't control everything himself anymore.
I see. Shared ownership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Commitment to the community having a say.
But huge risk too, right? If Vitalik just decided, I'm cashing out, SHIB would have crashed before it even began.
That's the other side of it, absolutely. It was like putting total faith in Vitalik, trusting he wouldn't screw over the community.
And it did work out. Later, Vitalik donated a huge chunk of that HEB to the India COVID Relief Fund.
Yep. Suddenly, EB wasn't just a joke, it was helping people.
Big plot twist. Okay, so SHIB didn't stop at being a meme coin. You sent some articles about this Shibarium network thing.
Oh, right. A layer 2 solution, basically making transactions on Ethereum faster and cheaper.
Gotcha. Then there's Shiba Swap, their own exchange, trading SHIB, and these other tokens, Leash and Bone. They're building a whole financial system around this dog, huh?
It's pretty remarkable. Way more than just a meme anymore. Shibarium is the really interesting part, I think.
Really? Why is that?
Layer 2 solutions, they're getting super important in crypto. They're the key to making blockchains actually usable for a lot of people.
Right. Scaling things up.
Exactly. More user-friendly.
So Shibarium is like adding a bunch more lanes to the Ethereum highway, less traffic jams, cheaper tolls.
Perfect analogy.
And it's growing like crazy too.
Yeah.
Didn't you mention 2 million users already?
Yeah, it just hit a new record.
Wow. What's drawing all those people to it?
Few reasons. First, Ethereum itself is getting really crowded and expensive, so people are looking for alternatives. Shibarium is just more affordable.
Makes sense.
Second, that SHIB community we talked about, they are active, promoting Shibarium everywhere.
Word of mouth marketing.
Best kind. And third, they keep adding new stuff to Shibarium, new features, new ways to use it. Developers love that.
Okay, so it's practical, it's got the community behind it, and it's not standing still. Makes sense. Then there's this token burning thing that was in the news. Sending SHIB to a dead wallet, taking it out of circulation forever.
Right, like a digital bonfire.
I guess the goal is to make the remaining SHIB more valuable.
Exactly. Less supply, higher demand, price goes up.
Oh.
Other projects have tried it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It's a gamble, huh?
Big time.
I wonder how the market is reacting to it. Good sign for the future, or are people skeptical?
It's mixed, to be honest. Some see it as the SHIB team being serious about growing the value. Others think it's just a short-term trick. Only time will tell who's right.
Like a poker game. Everyone trying to guess each other's cards.
That's crypto for ya. Always unpredictable, always exciting.
Speaking of exciting, let's get back to Ryoshi and his big vision for SHIB. You mentioned he wanted to create a whole decentralized financial ecosystem. That's ambitious, to say the least. What would that even look like?
Well, he saw SHIB as more than just a coin. He thought it could be a global currency, something people use every day, like for groceries, bills, everything.
A global currency, wow.
He even called it a global stable currency for the people.
Okay, bold idea, but how realistic is that?
There are definitely challenges. First off, stablecoins are hard to get right. They need to be tied to something stable like the US dollar, and that connection has to stay strong. Ryoshi mentioned some ways to do it, but it's complicated stuff.
So a global currency, but controlled by the community. Pretty radical concept. He also talked about a dedicated blockchain for SHIB, like its own little world.
Yeah, he actually called it Shibarium in his writings, a platform for all sorts of decentralized applications, not just finance stuff, even games.
Wow, a whole Shiba Inu universe.
Right.
So what's the point of having its own blockchain? What's the advantage?
Well, independence for one. They wouldn't have to rely on Ethereum, which can be, like we said, pricey and slow. Plus, they could make it perfect for SHIB users. Specific features, things that work best for that ecosystem.
Their own little corner of the crypto world.
Exactly.
And you said Bone, the governance token, would be super important in this Shibarium thing.
Oh, absolutely. Remember, Ryoshi was really against those whale bags, the huge holdings that can give too much power to a few people.
Yeah, he didn't want any big bosses.
Right. So Bone is meant to be spread out more fairly to those actually using the Shiba Inu system. So, by using Bone to make decisions on Shibarium, Ryoshi hoped to keep it decentralized, the community in charge.
Like a safeguard.
Yep. Checks and balances. Speaking of safeguards, you also sent over this guide about scams and security risks in SHIB.
Oh, right. Protecting your Discord account, keeping your digital stuff safe.
Yeah, Discord's a big hub for all these crypto communities, which makes it a target. You gotta be super careful.
So what should people be looking out for? How do you know if someone's trying to pull a scam?
Lots of things. The guide mentions a few, like watch out for accounts that just popped up with generic profile pics.
Wow.
They might try to slide into your DMs promising free tokens or crazy investment deals, and obviously be super wary of any links they send.
Right, classic red flags.
Like a stranger offering candy, best to just walk away.
Exactly.
Oh, and speaking of too good to be true, there's these impersonation scams.
Impersonation.
Scammers make fake accounts that look almost exactly like real project admins or moderators. Same name, same pic, the whole deal.
Trying to trick you into thinking they're legit.
Exactly.
So how do you avoid falling for that?
Double check everything. Look for that verified checkmark. See when the account was made. Read their past messages. If something feels off, report it. Better safe than sorry.
Trust, but verify.
Exactly. And that goes for more than just Discord. The guide really stresses protecting your actual crypto.
Right. Keeping your coin safe.
Yeah. And one of the best ways to do that is a hardware wallet.
Okay, what's a hardware wallet? Why is it so important?
Think of it like a little physical vault for your crypto keys. Unlike software wallets, which are on your computer or phone, hardware wallets are offline. Much harder for hackers to get to.
Ah, so it's like a real key to your crypto treasure instead of a password that can be stolen.
Perfect analogy, and the guide suggests sticking with well-known brands like Trezor or Ledger. Proven track record, you know.
Makes sense. So hardware wallets are a must-have. Got it. But what about daily stuff? If S is going to be for buying coffee or whatever, carrying a hardware wallet seems like a hassle.
That's true.
Yeah.
For small everyday things, software wallets are probably fine, but choose a good one with strong security like two-factor authentication.
Okay.
And never, ever keep a ton of crypto on a software wallet.
So like everyday wallet and a safe for the big bucks. Good advice.
Mm-hmm.
Any other security tips from the guide?
Yeah, they really emphasize being super careful about connecting your wallet to random websites or apps.
Why is that?
Once you connect it, they can potentially access your funds.
Oh, that's scary. So how can you tell if a website or app is safe?
Look for signs it's a real deal. Professional website, clear privacy policy, good reviews from other users. If something seems too good to be true, probably is.
Right. Better safe than sorry. Speaking of being safe, back to Ryoshi's stablecoin idea. We talked about the technical challenges, but what about the law? Are there legal hurdles for SHIB to become a real currency?
That's a big one. Crypto laws are changing all the time, and every country's different. Some love it, some hate it, some are somewhere in between.
Sounds messy.
It is, and that uncertainty makes things tough for any crypto that wants to be a real currency, SHIB included. To go mainstream, they'd have to deal with a ton of regulations and rules.
Like building a house with no blueprints could fall apart even if it looks good.
Exactly. Having good lawyers is crucial in crypto. They gotta navigate that mess.
So it's not just about the tech, it's about playing by the rules too. And speaking of rules, governance in SHIB. You mentioned Bone lets people vote on Shibarium. So do Bone holders actually get to make decisions about the network?
Yep. That's the idea. More bone you have, more voting power you get. They can propose changes, vote on stuff like how the network works, allocating resources, even choosing who manages things.
Like a decentralized democracy.
Exactly. Right in line with Ryoshi's vision of community control.
But how do they stop whales from taking over? If someone has tons of bone, can't they just force their way?
That's a good point. To prevent that, Shibarium uses something called quadratic voting.
Quadratic voting? What's that?
Basically, it gives more power to smaller holders. So one bone doesn't always equal one vote. The more you have, the less each extra bone counts.
Oh, so it balances things out a bit.
Exactly. Everyone gets a say no matter how much bone they hold.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked decentralization. Let's not forget security. We covered Discord scams, hardware wallets, all that. But what about the SHIB ecosystem itself? Is it safe from hackers and attacks?
Security is a top priority, but no system is perfect. The SHIB team is doing things right, regular code audits, best practices, all that. But you always have to be aware of the risks.
So they're doing their part, but users need to be smart too. Like wearing a seatbelt doesn't mean you'll never crash, but it helps.
Great analogy. And that's why it's so important to educate people about crypto. The more they know about the risks, the safer everyone is.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Ryoshi's vision, the whole SHIB ecosystem, tokens, security, even the legal side of things.
A lot to take in.
So, deep diver, what are your thoughts so far? What stands out to you about Shiba Inu?
I'm really fascinated by how it started as a meme, but it's clearly become something much bigger. The community's dedication is incredible.
Yeah, it's inspiring. And this whole idea of building a decentralized financial system, that's really exciting. But there are definitely challenges ahead, like we talked about.
For sure. How will they handle the laws, security, all the tech stuff? The future of SHIB is still up in the air, but it'll be a wild ride for sure.
It's a wild story, isn't it? This meme coin, now it's a whole ecosystem and this huge community driving it all.
Yeah, it really shows you the power of decentralization. It gives people a sense of ownership, like they're part of something big.
It's like a big social experiment online. Can a project that starts as a joke, a meme, actually make a difference in the real world?
Big question, no easy answer. But it's fascinating to watch, that's for sure.
And remember those token burns we talked about? Hundreds of millions of SC gone poof, just like that.
Yeah, over 460 million sent to a wallet nobody can touch.
Big move. And it seems to be working. The price of SHIB is way up, highest it's been since last May.
It shows you how much the crypto market is about psychology, not just what's useful. That scarcity, it gets people excited.
Fear of missing out.
Exactly. But in the long run, SHIB has to actually be useful, solve real problems, if it's going to last.
Speaking of useful, Shibarium. 2 million users, all-time high in total value locked. What's going on there? Just hype? Or is it the real deal?
I think people are starting to see it as more than just a meme platform. Developers are building on it, real applications.
So it's becoming a place to do stuff, not just trade token.
Right. Plus, the transactions are faster and cheaper than on Ethereum itself. That's a big draw.
Right, we talked about that. And those other tokens, Bone and Leash, they're part of it too.
Yeah, key parts. Bone is for fees, staking, governance on Shibarium. Leash is more about rewards and exclusive access for the loyal community members.
It's like a whole system all connected.
Exactly, like Ryoshi planned it, a self-sustaining, community-driven machine.
Pretty impressive. But let's not forget about security. Got to keep saying it.
Absolutely. Hardware wallets, essential. And always, always double-check before you connect your wallet to anything.
Website, app, anything.
Yep. Make sure it's legit. Don't just trust blindly.
Lock your doors, even in the digital world. Okay, deep diver. As we come up for air here, what are your thoughts? Is SHIB just another meme, or is there something more to it?
I think it's safe to say it's moved beyond that. It's got a passionate community, interesting tech, and a big vision.
Definitely ambitious.
Whether it'll succeed, who knows? But the journey itself is fascinating, shows what decentralization can do.
Well said. And the fact that Ryoshi disappeared, it just adds to the mystery. He left this blueprint, then vanished, and the community is carrying it forward.
It's a story you couldn't make up. The mysterious creator, the dedicated followers, the dog-themed token taking on the world.
Amazing. So, deep diver, keep watching SHIB. This is just the beginning. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Shiba Inu.